So I was doing some research on another topic, and I came up with this name Vince Espy in my research, and it made me remember this story that Fred Wellman had talked about. Vince Espy was requesting 7 million voter signature cards for the residents of Georgia. He was trying to get those 7 million voter signature cards and not have to pay for it by claiming to be part of the media, because the media apparently doesn't have to pay for those records. But he was not able to prove it. So as I was doing some more digging, I came to this post here from Intentional Truth. Now, I don't know anything about them. I'm just looking at what I see here. Vince Espy doesn't appear to be a real person, and it pushes him to America First Policy Institute. Now, America First sounds familiar, and it should, because America First Policy Institute is Stephen Miller. Yes, that's Stephen Miller. It's his organization that is the America First. It is the Project 2025 competitive venture, if you will. So that got me thinking. As I go through all these and see all these comments about Vince Espy, nobody's been able to find him. So what it is now? Why did I bring all this up? Why was I even looking into this Vince Espy thing? Because what's going on in Georgia right now? They have all those election committees that are being overrun by MAGA people who are going to challenge it or not certify elections and all that kind of stuff. But there's also something else going on. Is that, remember a month or so ago, Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State, said that they were going to create a website that allows people to automatically and easily cancel themselves from the voter roll. And all they needed was some basic information. Now, if you go back to this first one, he was asking for information about their signature card and a few other pieces of information. If you look at Fred Wellman's story, it's pretty in depth about what he was looking for. Voter's name, address, and signature. Why would somebody want this? And this is back in July of 2023 is when Fred was reporting it. And now we are in September of 2024, right before the election. Now, if this person was successful at being able to get this information, and we don't know that he was or wasn't, we don't know what happened with it, we're not part of the Georgia government, but if he was, then he might be able to, if you go to the actual requirements of the Georgia Secretary of State's website, it simplifies the process of canceling voter registrations. And what do you need to be able to do that? Driver's license ID. So if he was able to get the person's driver's license ID, they could, on their own, cancel people's voter registration, or if they have a full or partial social security number. And they make it very, very easy. And don't forget that Raffensperger also had a security glitch for a couple hours where everybody in the state's information was available online. So if someone knew about that potential glitch in advance, they could be ready to grab all that data and have it available to cancel people's registrations. Now, do I know that this is happening? No. Do I suspect that if Stephen Miller is involved in it, that it's a possibility that it's happening? And the other piece that is also part of it, Cleta Mitchell from old Georgia days, she was the attorney that was part of the call where President Trump asked for 11,780 votes in Georgia with Raffensperger. She was the attorney that was on the call as well. She's been pretty busy ever since. She's being funded to create a artificial intelligence bot that automates the process of voter challenges, and I imagine could be very easily automated to submit cancellations. These guys are all working together. Cleta Mitchell, True the Vote, Stephen Miller, America First. And this could be probably why Trump doesn't seem very interested in campaigning, because he knows he's got all these shenanigans going on behind the scenes. So, like I said, I don't know if this is what's going on, but it just brought up to mind this from last year about this Vince Espy person who we can't seem to find, who was looking for information last year. And it's not like they wouldn't have known that Georgia was planning these kinds of efforts. Republicans all work together. Raffensperger may not have wanted to commit the crime that President Trump was asking them to do in advance, but him and Gabriel Sherman sure had no problem helping pass this bullcrap law. And Kemp and the rest of those Republicans, they're Republicans to the core. They know they cannot win without cheating or giving themselves an edge. Now, if they found a way to automate the voter cancellations for people at scale with an AI integration with Eagle AI or some other thing they've got working on, then this is a huge, huge hole. Because the challenge is, if people have their votes challenged, you have to affirmatively go to a hearing to try to get it reinstated. And if people do it too close to the election, people may not be able to get to that meeting. It's a required meeting. You can't just call it in. You can't just mail it in. You have to physically show up someplace. And or if they found a way to automate the process of identifying which voters that they want to automatically cancel, because this Vince Espy person found a way to get this information he'd been asking for last year, they could cancel 1 million Democratic voters if they wanted. They're up to something. We don't know what it is, but these people plan to cheat. That's certain.